together, even they like different things. Because Oddi is into construction sets, constructing airplanes and radio-controlled models, and his brother Sam likes pirates and pirate games more.
Oh, this is a pretty much typical relationship between brothers.
Maybe.
But there is a better reason behind it. Are you okay? Are you alright?
There is no sparks around Barton, our model Barton, so I think this is okay now.
Okay, I smell some.
Something.
Yes.
Okay.
Something burned. Okay. Oh, he's cheating.
He's trying to play hide and seek, but he doesn't want to send to find him, so he's using radio to scare it away. And Sam will scare away and run away, and Oddi will win.
He's cheating. Very smart boy, but it's bad. It's very bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons in a way, because in a way, while I show this situation between our brothers in that way. Mark Twain's Adventures of Tom Sawyer has inevitably affected the childhood images of our characters. And speaking about pirates, about pirate team, I need to say that I couldn't forget Monkey Island with its pirate stylistics. And maybe you recognize none other than LeChuck on the front screen, in the very front screen, not on that screen, but on previous screen, And conflict, while boys not just playing together but arguing all the time, it's always more interesting thing. Because if they just play together and construct like sailplane, some toys together, it will be some kind of a boring scout poem, not real life. So kids are arguing, trying to persuade each other to play the games they want to play, and but finally, as a player, we ending up playing with both guys, with both brothers, and we helping Oddi to craft his plane, and we searching for Sam's toy treasure.
Because we simply play Cosmic Pirates. So judging by that Scarecrow, Oddi likes the classic version, and it sounds like and some years later they played in What Do We Do in the Drunken Sailor, What Do We Do in the Drunken Sailor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I need to say that Sam likes pirates. Not Oddi likes the classic version, but Sam likes classic versions, but it's okay.
Okay, yeah.
So yes, as already mentioned, this was a LeChuck, a Scarecrow, not actually LeChuck, of course. And it's greatly involved in solving puzzles at this episode as a Scarecrow, not actually, but by LeChuck himself. And if I am
not really school,
not really LeChuck, come closer to me. So if I am not mistaken, this LeChuck, this fake LeChuck guy, was a very first item that was drawn by Roman, or lead or artist. So it's kind of memorial. Hi Roman.
Hi Roman. We see you in the chat right now.
We're watching you.
Yeah.
So it's a memorial in many senses, I need to say.
I see you really love the old school game and this game.
Monkey Island.
Yes.
Yes, I guess it's. Oh, hi Roman.
Hi.
I guess it's safe to say that I'm the #1 fan of Monkey Island. I see myself more as Ron Gilbert type of player than Tom Schafer type. And don't get me wrong, I certainly adore Grim Fandango and other Tom projects, but I'm totally in love with Monkey Island. And I'm sure, I want to believe that Ron Gilbert will finally acquire the rights for the franchise from Disney, and we'll get see a new game about Monkey Island.
New chapters. How old are you when you were playing in Monkey Island the first time?
Oh, I'm very old guy, so I was like,
Very old? Really?
I'm like 20, 22. So you need to understand that we in Russia have these games more later than all world.
Yeah.
Come closer to me again.
Yep. I have a kitty near my chest. You don't
Real
see
kitty?
it?
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
What? Yes.
Yeah, he's a cat.
We have a cat in a game.
He's just
and,
technical character. He helping us to perform a stream.
yes.
Yeah, upsy.
Oh.
Yes, it's another
yeah.
error.
Oh.
Another error
Upsy.
in our
Are you
in our
okay?
robot. I need to say
Yeah.
that we also have a cat. in the
Yes.
game.
It was my next question. What a cute kitty in the first.
Yes, in the first screen,
Yes.
in this screen too, you'll see him. So it's a cat. His name is John C. Jingles, Mr. John Jingles, to be precise, and he's a star.
It sounds very.
Familiar.
Yes.
Yes, it sounds very familiar because that cat is actually a reference to a John C. cat from the Alien movie.
Older
There
movie.
was a ginger cat. So
Without Fassbender, yes? Older movie.
older, 1979. And also the second part of the name, the second name of or Mr. Johnson Jingles is a reference to a mouse. A reference to a mouse from Stephen King's Green Smile, Stephen King's book Green Mile.
And film 2.
Yes, and the mouse was called Mr. Jingles, so our cat is Mr. John C. Jingles. But I need to say that our cat is character of his own. He is sleeping right there away on a desk, and he's like tasty treats and likes to nap, nice nap, and behaves like an ordinary cat, like he's
it's
this
cat. Yes.
kitty. So I need there is of course also some secret about him, but
Secrets everywhere.
yes, of course,
Yeah, it's been very full of secrets.
all secrets.
Yeah, yes, and speaking of mystery, what about the girl of the end of the first episode, Ada? We saw it early.
Oh, okay, I will tell about Ada, but first I need to tell some more information about John C. Jingles. I need to say that John C. was not featured in first episode too, not just in second episode. There was a secret there.
Secret achievement.
So if you switch the air vent in the shower through the control terminal, you can hear John C. meow there. And if you look at the vent at that moment, you will get Mr. John C. achievement. And players will of course meet John C. in new episodes, and in very new episode, episode 4, well, actually you can play as a Mr. John C. in some part of the game near the end. So returning.
What about?
What about?
What about? Okay, so returning to Ada, I need to say that Ada is the most mysterious character of them all, and she appears and disappears without any logical explanation yet. Typical girl, maybe as we've seen already in this episode. And I need to tell you the truth that Ada's secret will not be revealed until the very end of the game, until the 5th episode. I can say that much, that Ada just play a key part in our story, in Odysseus Kosmos story, and she is a friend of Odie, so it will be wise for player to listen to her advice.
Sounds like friend zone. It's only friends. Alright, let's try and avoid some spoilers here.
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, we see a totally new landscape, and it's very different from the spaceship. What's this drawn by the same artist, maybe, or it was Roman too?
Yes, this artwork, all this artwork was drawn by lead artist Roman, and all locations too here. But I need to say that atmosphere is small different, maybe in some way, because the main accent is the rich greenery, as you can see on the screen. There are a lot of clouds, there are a lot of sky, and the atmosphere is also peaceful, like the calm cosmic locations of San Francisco, but in a different way, as I say.
Yeah, it's very calm. How much guy create?
How long?
How much people create this game? You and Roman.
Yes,
And so and the song.
and there is another artist. There is also another artist who helping us, and there's a very good sound designer who's creating sound effects for us, and that's practically all. But I need to mention that our lead song was performed by singer Lyubov Terletskaya, and everybody likes it. So I need to include her in a team. To be honest.
So calm.
Oh yes, I think I perform a little break here.
Oh, okay.
So guys, try.
Hi, how are you? He don't like me. Sorry, but he don't tell anything.
Die Jedi dogs. Oh, what did I say?
I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
Oh, I think it's a little broken, but it's our first model, and sorry, maybe something. Want water?
Maybe you'll find someone else to help you.
Maybe something. He's smiling. You don't see, but he's smiling. Look at this guy. He's smiling. I don't lie. He's smiling. Okay, let's try to play something else. And I create some very bad. No, oh my god. I'm alone
Let's connect our mic.
and we start.
Can you help me with it?
Engineer.
So where we start?
We punch
Oh, you're playing.
something.
Trying to hit the target.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, one of the tasks that Oddy solves is the dare for a Sam, because Oddy must hit a target from a slingshot in order to win it, to win the slingshot. And it's a whole mini game, as you see, because Oddy is standing in the location, taking aim and shoots at the target. Maybe this reminds you of something. Doesn't ring any bell? I think not, because
It's remind me something. Yes.
well, this scene, this location can be seen as a reference to Monkey Island again, to Monkey Island 2 actually, where Guybrush, and I mean Guybrush Threepwood of course, was supposed to win a spitting contest, and one of the unusual ideas of that locations, that solving that puzzle, you cannot solve that puzzle simply by combining two items or simply by giving a special order to Guybrush.
Only logical, yes?
In a way, you need to examine the location carefully and note that the flags of the scene are flickering when wind blows, and you need to give the order to Guybrush at exactly right moment to use the wind and win that mini game, and you cannot solve this just by going through your inventory or something, item by item, step by step. So I just love things like that. I just love it. I need to say that returning to our guys, that comparing to San Francisco, there are different tasks for our character, for a player, because everything on the ship was meant to be like restored or repaired, and everything that Odysseus was trying to do, it's to restore or repair San Francisco, or maybe do something to save the crew, to return it. And it was perfectly logical, but we cannot perform it in that way in our flashback, because young Odie doesn't remember anything about San Francisco. So we need to find a new tasks, and yes, we have new challenges here, and the main challenge for Odie here in the flashback is to finish his toy plane, combine his plane, and Sam Sam has hidden some of the parts.
Mighty pirate.
Yes, it was achievement Mighty Pirates. So this global task, combining the cell plane, was divided in several small ones. For example, one of them was the slingshot challenge, as we've seen it, and we nearly to end of the green part here, the flashback part. We're waiting for end.
So the second episode is entirely set in here.
No, after the flashback, we will return to the ship, and I can tell you right away that not the second, but all the following episodes will always feature new locations and new content. So,
Always, and more new rooms on the ship.
of course, more new rooms, more new locations, because well, the game takes place on San Francisco, on the same San Francisco, on the same ship, and naturally there are some familiar locations. But this doesn't mean that we have to keep using just the very same scenes over and over again. Hey, Odysseus wake up, as we've seen.
What a dusty room!
Yeah, he'll need to do a cleaning. It's another achievement. I need to say this is another achievement.
Okay, but you were misty.
Well, returning to our locations, I need to say that each episode is sure will to surprise players with something new. And the second, this and all the following episodes are based on that principle. I guess you could say that you could find this idea if you look up to the Sam and Max sequel, not the very first game, not the very old game, but sequel. It's too not a very new game, not a very old game. It was released like 8 years ago in 2010 by Telltale Games, when they were still creating adventure games, not games. And that game, the Sam and Max game, was also divided into a series of episodes with interesting content reuse system. And in each episode, they would use some old stuff, some old locations. I'm just watching the Barton here and always smile.
Yeah.
He's just cute. So they're using the old locations and
I think you want to know I'm feeling very
okay, and
Because despite
it was more something new. So and they add not just old scenes but additional new ones with new scenes, and this creating some things fresh and yet still recognizable. And I like that idea. So that was we were trying to create with the San Francisco locations and San Francisco ship in Odysseus Kosmos.
Okay, and Why episodes? You spread your game in the
Why we're
parts.
using episodes?
Yeah,
Well, it's one of the
I like.
most important questions, and we need to discuss it. Well, the main reason is the time.
We need to discuss it.
We need to discuss it. Yes, the main reason is the time of development, because we all
Oh
know-
my god!
Yes, he.
First player.
Yeah.
No, it's
Ah.
not true. I don't believe you.
Congratulations.
I don't believe you.
How many times he can use tips? There are tips in the episode. If you use tips, he will get hints what you need to do right now. So if you use tips, you can complete it faster, but it's not very interesting. Anyway,
I don't believe you.
maybe.
Okay.
So let's return to
why
episodes. So the time of development, I think we all know the situations when the development of an indie or even mainstream project is goes for years. The devs keep making promises, and release date is always delayed, and it can keeps for an indefinite period the situation, but it's different with us. Of course, we have a very good time. We have a very good overview of time development we need for each episode. So we decided that we can show a completed product now. Then we will drag the release date for another few years. So if the game prove, and we can find a way to speed the development process always.
Sometimes. Oh, this guy who
Complete the game,
Yeah.
complete the fourth episode.
Yes.
Congratulations!
Yeah, no. He
You need to send a letter with a code.
told some
Oh,
beautiful words.
he
Thank you.
told a beautiful
Thank you.
words. He just saying thanks for very calm and beautiful
Say thank
game.
you.
Okay,
thank
that's
you.
great. Hey,
Say something.
okay, he must be broken. Okay,
Okay.
let's continue. Let's continue the stream.
Okay.
So the centric reasons will be finances, because everyone needs.
What about developing
oh,
Marvel?
yes,
What about
about-
my salary? I'm acting for 4 episodes now. Tell me.
Yes, you're totally right, Barton. We
tell
need
him.
to pay Barton
Yeah.
first of all. So when we are selling game all this time, Jane, come closer to me again. When we're selling the game all this time, it's very helpful for development.
All about energy. You have another achievement. Very cool. Okay. Are you really broken?
I think you want to know I'm feeling very depressed.
He's depressed again.
My story is a lot like yours, only more interesting because it involves
I think our Barton is broken here.
of course you.
Well, anyway.
Okay.
The third reason for episodes that with episode content I'm guided as always by classical adventure games with chapter structure, with chapters. For example, Monkey Island. But when the game is divided into several chapters or acts, and each part is an independent logical fragment with its own goals. And after completing the first chapter, player face a new situation with new locations and new objectives. And at the game final, players open the entire gaming world and can travel across all locations. So this is how all episodes of Odysseus Kosmos are structured. Each episode is a separate chapter of the tale, and all of them are united by storyline. And each episode includes about 4, maybe 6 hours of gameplay, and the full game will include about 16 hours or something.
Some
Maybe 20
strange
hours.
things happened on the screen.
Yes, it's not creepy. You say that's creepy.
It's
Last
a car on his.
It's not look
what?
like an alien. It's not a car. It's a rover, spacecraft. To
Some strange things.
Exterminate, exterminate, exterminate.
No, please! I need a doctor, but stop it!
okay, it's a puzzle. He needs to grab the basketball. Just wait.
Okay.
Wait a second. We will see. He will.
Sorry,
he
but
will
it
jump.
looks like a suicide.
Why? That's
But he's.
don't talk about this on the translation.
Cool.
Yes, it's what cool.
Yeah.
And we
Whoa,
have
it's
everything
rotating?
upside down. Yes, it's
Yeah.
kind of joke. It's not.
Whoa,
It's not-
it's a job. Why? It's a cool idea. It's a good idea, I think.
Thank you. It's a good idea.
And like in old Zelda game, when you need.
Oh no, it's not so old. It's a new actually. Old Zelda game was published in '98, I think, or maybe even earlier. It was a Nintendo Dual System game when you need to
Young girl. It's
To-
wow.
split.
Oh, it was cool.
It was joke too. Thanks.
It's very,
It's
very
original.
cool.
So let's
Yeah. Okay.
about episodes. Lots of new locations in every episode. Lots of new rooms, as you say.
And new stuffs in your pockets.
The items, of course, the adventure game items. Yes, this is a lot more stuff to fill your pockets, as you say.
It's a cool part. It's a cool part of adventures.
Of
You're walking
course.
through the room. I need coffee and ball and pen
And everything.
and this,
And basketball.
Yeah, and this
and the
slippers
basket.
and, yes.
And the basket.
One basket
So-
on the ship, spaceship.
It's,
In
for paper, for trash. It's a basket for trash.
okay, and I need the trash and the gas and the pocket. What?
Everything.
It's very like
Yes, okay.
cryptomanic.
Each
Okay.
time,
Yeah.
at every episodes, we have a lot of items in our inventory, over a dozen, I think. And this is our legacy from old school adventure games. And I personally like to play with a full inventory, if it's user friendly. And it doesn't work like that in modern adventures anymore. You don't get a lot. You don't get a lot of items. You don't get a lot of items these days. You just get one or two or maybe five items with obvious use often. And the entire gameplay comes to searching for these items, then racing to the location when you can apply these items, and then just watching a cutscene, and then it's over and over again. And this is an obvious solution targeted for modern audience, but it's still not the way for us. So we love a lot of items.
Yes. In our game, players collect a lot of items. Each of those can be examined or used. Quite often you have to combine items to solve puzzles, and I think this is something that we loved about the old adventure games. That feeling.
He's
Do
just
you want to hear a joke?
he's just a cool guy, or Barton.
Try joke.
We need to reboot him. push him.
Later.
Where is my wrench? I need to hit him on the head
No.
to repair it. yes. What about me?
Some stuff. No.
Let's fix a button. This
Yeah.
is bug button.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Sure. It's I talk
To
about
find item. Yes, to
Yes.
find a new item.
And Barton, you here? I love you. Yeah, it's about stuff. Talking. It's a very great feeling, but everyone also wants to see everything right away. Like me.
Everything.
Yeah.
Well,
everything.
adventure games rarely allow players to access all playable locations at the beginning, straight away. Even though it's a large world, it's a cool feature for these games. But there is like unwritten rule that you don't do that. You don't show a new player full world, because a lot of locations can confuse a newcomer or even experienced player. So it's better to unravel the story, unravel the world step by step.
So you mean that all adventures stick to the same rules? Yes?
Well, usually there are two main themes in the genre, and the first, when the players steadily get sets, we call it sets, of 2 or 3 locations to play, and once all tasks in these 2 or 3 locations have been solved, then you get the next set of locations, new tasks, new objectives. There can be a lot more locations, like in longest journey, with thousands locations, but the rule stays the same. And the second thing, when the world gradually grows around the player, so you get access to new areas, new locations, and still have access to old ones. So this is happening until the entire world will be unlocked. Often developers combine these variants, these schemes, and we are no exception. We're two combining this, and the episode structure suggests that we move from one set of locations to another. It's natural, but we still gradually expand the world, and in every episode, player get access to new locations and old locations. So to the 5th episode, the players will be able to walk around all ship, around all San Francisco.
Something broken?
Yes, it's a cooling system, and more hero or character need to fix to repair it, as he always does, and he will repair it, of course.
I understand if there is special kind of puzzles in these episodes.
Yes, there is really a lot of special puzzles. I love unusual puzzle, but we can talk about one puzzle just like an example. For example, your task, Odysseus task, will be deliver some ice. We will see from the laboratory to the server room for cooling system here. Cooling system at the left of the screen. But when you try to carry the ice, it will melt. It will melt down because it's ice. So it's kind of puzzle from the Monkey Island again, from the very first game, when you need to carry acid through several locations, and the acid kept burning through all containers. So player had to pour acid from one mug into another to deliver it on every location. And we are using another solution here, but it's also pretty easy. It's easier than Monkey Island. You just need to remember that there's Vulcan thermos on the ship.
And you need to put acid
No, not
in a bath.
Put acid in a bath, right? No, we need to put ice. We need to put sexy mama. We need to put ice into Barton.
Nice. Sorry, ice, not acid. Ice. Sorry. Oh my god. I see in the second episode very much garbage in some rooms, in living room, in when something else. I don't know what. Here, garbage too.
The ship is really huge, and Odie can't can't fix.
How much?
How much big is the ship?
Yeah.
Let's focus on our spacecraft. Let's focus on San Francisco ship. So San Francisco is a huge scientific spacecraft created by corporation Stargaze, and it has been sent to a Gargan system, space system with a specific goal.
It's a real space system, yes?
No, it's not real space system. It's an imaginary space system in our game. It's a reference to Interstellar movie. There was Gargantua black hole, and we have Gargan black hole. but anyway. So our ship is equipped with like experimental hyper engine, and I need to say that battle weapons are not equipped. It's a scientific vessel. And the important thing for the story is that the spacecraft is designed for long periods of autonomy, of full autonomy. So you can imagine yourself, if you want, aboard a modern submarine, completely alone. That it will be similar.
It's look like very crazy for me. It sounds like vacation, but not.
But I think the first month maybe it will be vacation, and then it will be kind of boring. The ship is really huge. There are hundreds of rooms, hundreds of bays.
It's a big maze, I think.
Not the really maze, but this is a good.
Of course, you forgot about me.
Oh,
Again,
no.
yes, and it's equipped with maintenance robots, like this one behind my back. So the ship is huge, but it's of course not accessible in all the bays because it's adventure games. We have locations, and some
San
of
Francisco main navigational computer is super cool. One day I'll be like this guy.
okay.
Yes.
It's a
one
good
time.
idea. Maybe Barton, maybe one day,
It's his
but not today. Not today, my friend.
big dream.
Big dream of our robot.
Yeah.
So there are residential areas here in San Francisco. There are crew quarters and technical rooms and laboratories and large storages and navigational bays and so on composed to be. Okay, that's good one. And I need to say a few words about realism, like gravitation things. So of course we are aware that in the nearest maybe 100 years space travel like this will stay a fantasy for the humankind, and the game feature a few fantasy conditions like artificial gravity, for example. And this is a sci-fi game. You understand, Jane?
Oh yes.
So it's these conditions are just required for a good story. So I think it's okay.
It's not 18th century. I understand. Scientist. Woman can
Rocket
understand.
science.
Yes. Woman can understand science. Okay. What about mini games?
Yes, we will see a mini game a minute ago about when you need to combine letters to fix the cooling system. There was Jedi reference to on the letters. So yes, I love mini games. I love additional puzzles, and
Something wrong? Why
it's broken.
It's broken.
Or man, look, his walking thermos are going. We will take away ice from the button, and then we will fix cooling system, and then screen will stop blinking as you say. So let's return to our mini games. So I don't really like the games that are just collections of mini games, but it's not about us. It's there are good exceptions, but our game is nothing. It's anything but a collection of mini games. On the other hand, there is a tradition to put mini games, to put puzzles into adventure games. So we're using this method. There are a few mini games in every episode, and I think that a good mini game, good puzzle for adventure game, it should not be overcomplicated, because the player already works and solves all kind of puzzles all the game by combining items. So it shouldn't force him to sit around and trying to solve some another mini game on the one screen. It's the mini game, an adventure game, should be a kind of rest, maybe a possibility to get away from the usual gameplay mechanic, feel something new. And secondly, I think the mini game should not come down to very combinatorics, and this happens so often to puzzles, because the easiest and the worst, I think, the first way to design a puzzle is to take a popular mechanic like some kind of Sokoban or Tetris or something, or some shifting gears, you know, combine it, and then pump up the difficulty, make it harder, and there you go, another boring mini game is ready, and I don't like it because the players will waste a big amount of time to solve it,
I think it's
and he'll going through all the options to find a solution, and it's boring, I think. So I myself enjoy this puzzle where you have to guess the solution once. When the puzzle itself does not appear very difficult, or it can look that way, it can look difficult, but when you find the solution, it will be easy. So you need just to guess the solution once, and when you guess the solution, it will be easy.
Right now you can go to the internet and find the solution.
Yes, you're right. So if the game is too hard, if the player will try to solve it for too much time, he will just go to internet, find a solution, and he will not.
Years ago, like when Islands released, we need to solve it with our minds. It was very cool.
There was.
Yeah.
Yes, you're completely right. It was a real problem. You can't just go and look for solution. You need to solve it.
Yeah, I can help my father for some games. It was Grandia. It was very cool. Yeah, I was a very young girl. It's cool.
First Kirandia is easy actually, but second is kind of hard, and Kirandia 3 is really hard, I think.
And very cool, I think. And right now you need to do some things to do, and you can take the achievements.
Yes, there is achievements also. We need to say about achievements because we are moving toward the end of the episode. So let's say a few things. I need to say first of all that we met these requirements about mini games that we are talking in our game, and we will continuing using the mini games of that type. So returning to achievements. So we call them coffee breaks. It's I should note that this was our publisher's idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was us.
To add
idea.
achievements to the game to enhance its replayability or some sort. Ironically, the folks from marketing department who gave this idea, they got this idea from Life is Strange game, which I personally don't recognize as adventure game, more like interactive movie.
But it's about adventure.
Maybe, but it's not adventure game, it's interactive.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move forward. So we of course are trying our best to consider our publisher's advice, so we used this idea and took it a step further, and I think our implementation turned out quite successful. Most of our achievements, almost all of them, are kind of like Easter eggs, you know Easter eggs.
Yes, I know.
So players don't have to find like 100 items or like run 100 miles on the ship in order to get an achievement. Instead, they have to figure out a certain action, and mostly it's a quite logical action. But achievements are harder to discover, opposing to story puzzle
without internet.
yes, the story puzzle solution, because you would expect that of Easter eggs. And achievements sometimes are backed up by dialogue or characters' actions. For example, you can take a knife in flashback, in Odysseus flashback, and use it on a tree, and then Odi will have carve his initials into a tree, and you will get an achievement. And there are 20 episodes, 20 achievements in every episode, I think we need to watch this scene. It's the very end of our episode.
Oh,
We are
it's
nearly
the end?
ending our translation, but let's see.
It's,
There
looks like
was some surprise here.
looks creepy.
Some surprise here. Odysseus
It
trying to
was,
find a life on the San Francisco. He has a signal from
Really?
the warehouse,
After 5
and
years.
here
Oh my God!
it is. It's rats. It's hundreds of creepy rats.
Exterminate.
Oh yes, that was a good.
But he died. It's
No,
second
he's
episode.
not. He's not dying. He's going on the box and waiting for Barton to save him, and the Barton and
But where he
and the
is?
episode 3. Here it is. You can see it.
I'm doing
see
it
him.
stress. Oh my
So
god.
and the Barton also hates rats. I need to say that Barton in the third episode will perform as a main character. I think we can say that. So we need to end our
Yes,
translation.
it's the end. It was
As I
good
said,
end.
there is no new questions here. So guys, I think we have to say goodbye till the next translation. Goodbye.
Hey, you can write your questions.
And don't forget to send us the codes when you finish the game. You will the fourth episode. You will see the code. Send it to us, and you will have a prize. Some promo codes and things
Odyssey.
for Odysseus. He'll
Hey,
be
this is
fine.
his
I think.
body. Poor guy.
He's got
What are you
to
doing with
on
him?
the box. Barton
Barton
will
child.
help him.
It was Mary's child? Mary, red.
It's always dark before the sunshine. It's always cold before the spring. And in between 100 miles, I've been holding you in wind. Your eyes are shining in the winter. Your arms are keeping me